declaration by Arsene Wenger that he will quit at the end of the season and he will no longer continue being the manager of Arsenal Football Club. Of course, he was speaking to members of the press while making that particular pronouncement. 22 years at the helm of the team, but with no concrete title and cabinet full of trophies to show. But Webster Mwangi, what do you make of that pronouncement? Do you think it was due to pressure that was piled on him to make such kind of announcement?
Well, it could be, because things have not been so good for the last 13 years. The club management and us, the fans, stuck by him up to some point where our patience waned as the fans, but the top management and the club hierarchy stuck with him. And I think they have realized that it's time we need a change. It's time now Arsenal Football Club now changed and adapted to the modern way of doing football. You know, Roman Abramovich was one of the protagonists of making football a business, where you bring in top players who then help you compete at the highest level. Arsene Wenger preferred to get virtual unknowns and convert them into world beaters. But he stuck by that. And he stuck by that through the mid-2000s, when the likes of Man United and Chelsea and now Man City are spending a lot of money. Now Liverpool and Spurs are in the mix, and now Arsenal all of a sudden have been left behind. We are now watching our backs, watching Burnley, instead of trying to watch Man United or Chelsea or Spurs, which for me is it's unfortunate. So it's about time he left and allowed another manager to take over, and we can see about that.
I and also Robert whole contrary opinions with regards to that kind of pronouncement, because my team Nottingham Forest, two-time UEFA Champions League winners, at some point beat Arsenal 2-0, and of course Man United. I've read somewhere on Twitter, Kenyans on Twitter are actually amazing. They're saying that Man United fans, will assemble and march to Emirates and protest against that decision so that it can be rescinded, because Arsenal Arsenal has been donating points to them. My line.
For me, what I was going to say is, or what I'm actually saying is, the Arsenal fans for a very long time have been out of the competitive edge of the game. That's why they are like, this guy had to go. But as football fans worldwide, let's not forget the legacy of Wenger, the man himself, because he helped revolutionize the game. He helped influence the game. One of the major rivalries that we grew up watching was Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson. 3 Premier League titles is not a joke. Getting to the UEFA Champions League final, he tried his best. And the invincible side of 4-5, it was a great team. So
that one was memorable.
Yeah, past him not getting the best in his twilight years of the game, he also had a very huge and big impact in the world game so far.
Webster, you seem like you don't agree with him and read from the same script.
No, actually I don't agree with Robert. Why? Let me tell you, let's repeat that statement. 3 titles in 22 years.
Yeah.
Unlike Sir Alex Ferguson won 13 in 26. Let me tell you, as we speak, I should be telling you guys I'm a 7-time Premier League champion. Arsenal should have won the Premier League in 2008, 2011, 2014, 2016. So let's say it as it is.
Yes.
The first 10 years, 8 to 10 years of his career was nothing short of brilliant. But the 13 or so years after that has been nothing short of ridiculous.
Post 2005.
Post 2005, because you see, really United, we are being disrespected as a football club and as a football fan base. United fans know. I'm sure even the 3 of you expect that next Sunday it's nothing short of 3 points.
Yes.
That's how bad it is.
Yes.
And there is a time we would go to Old Trafford. We've turned the title race on its head at Old Trafford twice. The last time Arsenal won at Old Trafford was in 2005. So we can put it as it is, and not forgetting that Arsenal did not win anything for 8 years. That is one period I will never forget.
But surely, can you only blame the manager? What about the playing system? What about the players that he brought in?
Good.
The attitudes.
Now, good question. The players, who manages the players, who chooses the system? It's not Gazidis, it's not Kroenke, it's Wenger.
Yes.
You see,
and his coaches.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I remember I watched the documentary of the rivalry between Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira. They were seated at a round table. These days they are very good friends, incidentally, not during the days. Because I remember there's one time Roy Keane said, whenever I would play Arsenal, I would feed myself with hate. That is how they used to approach that game. That is, I remember, Man United, they get under my skin even today because of that.
How do you feed well back that anger?
Hey, I'm telling you. You see, so Patrick Vieira, the interviewer asked Patrick Vieira, which glaring attribute would you point out about Arsene Wenger? He said Arsene Wenger puts too much faith in his players, which is both a strength and a weakness. That was a strength between 1996 and 2005, but it became a weakness beyond there, because you see, you have to be ruthless. You don't expect to win the title with Sylvester and Diaby and Squillaci, and you sign a Mauri Bischoff and Kim Karlstrom, who happened to be injured when he was being signed. How does that happen?
Now let's talk about probably the replacements and the potential managers that are earmarked for replacement of Arsene Wenger. Of course, Luis Enrique has been adversely mentioned. He's been in charge of Barcelona. He won La Liga with them. He's a man with track record. And Mikel Arteta too at Manchester City is also being mentioned. Maybe in terms of the potential candidates that can formidably replace Arsene Wenger. Whom will you go for, Joe?
Well, for me, right now, it's more about don't discontinue the leadership of a manager's position. Okay, you would argue that you want to have a young, talented manager to come to Arsenal Football Club. Okay, to bring in maybe some more flair into the already attacking system that they have. But I believe experience is important. Okay, sit down and ask yourself: we want to make an impact in the next 2 years. Do we bargain on a young talented manager, the likes of the Pochettinos of the world, okay, and say let's give ourselves another 4 years of revamping the club again and let's challenge the titles for the next 4 years? Or do we take the name of Arsenal and say, you know what, we can use this squad, improve on it with some quality signings and push for the trophies? For me, experience goes further than talent at this moment. Unfortunately, for now, all the experienced managers are taken. Unless now you go for the Bayern Munich manager,
Joe Hinks.
Yes, unless you go for him.
I think there are good managers in the market that Arsenal can get at the moment. One name that I disagree with, that would be Mikel Arteta, because he's just finished playing football. He's having, let's say, his fellowship with Pep Guardiola. It's not even a year since he joined the coaching system. So for that name, we can say let him stay out there. And also, the English managers, the most experienced English managers today, they are really not that good enough to take off an Arsenal club. But if they go for a coach like the former Borussia Dortmund manager, the guy who said he will not go for the Bayern Munich, Tuchel, is a very, very good manager. The France coach at the moment, Didier Deschamps, he's a very good manager. Even though he has not come to club football, he looks like a very, very good manager. I have reservations for Carlo Ancelotti. He seems to be in that level of Fabio Capello, Vicente Del Bosque. I think he's a bit tired now to come back into the game. If you see how he did with Bayern Munich in his last tenure as the Bayern coach, seems a bit tired for me. But if they go for a young manager, he can do wonders, because you look at the young managers of the moment, led by the likes of Klopp, they are really pushing the game to a different
And
milestone.
another man who is being mentioned is Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah,
I know.
Brendan is a good coach.
The
because-
Celtic manager.
Yeah,
he's good.
you can see that they are really pushing the game to a very different level. You look at Eddie Howe, Bournemouth. He is not the level of Arsenal, but he shows you that this young Sean Dyche, the Burnley manager,
Yes.
And even
He's not-
Joachim Low.
Yeah.
Probably after winning World
Now-
Cup with Germany in Russia.
now that can be the best manager for Arsenal. That will be
Joachim
the
Low.
best manager
But he
for
lacks
Arsenal.
experience as far as club football management is
No
concerned.
one cares about
But
that.
there are two
As
names
long as
you guys are forgetting.
you
Yes.
can perform.
Luis Enrique, Max Allegri.
Allegri of Juventus and
You see, they are also young managers.
yes,
You see, someone like Sean Dyche will help you. He will help us defend. At least that's one thing that we are sure of.
He will
But
close the game
how
down.
will he handle the attacking talents of the likes of Aubameyang and Ozil? We need a coach with that balance. And for me, Max Allegri or Enrique would be the guys, because one thing I know about them, they have this no-nonsense attitude. They don't accept failure. So these funny errors that the likes of Czech and Mustafi make week in and week out will be a thing of the past.
Yeah.
They are workmanlike. They demand results. They demand that every player have a winning mentality. That is what Arsenal need. In fact, he's talked about experience. Most of the players are above 25 years old. Xhaka, Mustafi. So the likes of El Neni, the likes of Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan, they need a coach who will instill a winning mentality and get that balance. When we go to Man United or Stoke on a cold afternoon, November, December afternoon, you will get a result. And when you come to the Emirates, the results will also be the same. So it's about that.
22162 is our SMS line. Keep talking to us. SMS as starting with the word touch. What do you think about Arsene Wenger big statement saying that he's quitting the club at the end of the season, and talking about, you know, the weekend FA? Same is the senior counsel, Robert Ojo, and the family led by Beatrice Akuma watching from Nakuru. How about you? What do you think about your team, Chelsea, playing Southampton tomorrow in another semi-final clash? But before that, video assistant referees to be shown on big screens in Russia. So, Robert, you know, that thing has drawn illicit reactions from Kenyan football followers who think that the introduction of VAR is retrogressive.
No.
I read somewhere, The Guardian, this
Yes.
morning, and Brian Cook wrote that the video assistant referee is like a prefect who wants to be really hard, who wants to be really sane, and that's what the referees are pushing for. I don't deny it. It's a good venture, technology-wise, but for football, for me, it slows down the game. Doesn't bring down, because football is about passion, it's about emotion, and then the game is on a high tempo at 69 minutes. The referee calls it down for 3 minutes because of a decision of a linesman. It was not offside. It was. I think the referee should be given that chance to make that human error. Although, so far up to today, of the tested matches, they are saying that it is 98.8% accurate. So, technology-wise, well enough. But for football, in my opinion, I don't want it.
For me, again, I don't know why I'm disagreeing with Osoro today a lot. I only agree with him on the part of slowing down the game. But Robert, you forget that we've seen games, Champions League quarter-final games, Champions League semi-final games that are emotive, and sometimes players lack reason, and you will need to be fair. Trust me. For example, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich over the week or in midweek. If VAR is available, it should be used, because those are the kind of games that make or break reputations. It's about repairing. It also assists in repairing the referees' reputations, because sometimes these errors hurt them. Yes, you'll make a human error, but once it's reviewed, it hurts your career as a referee. So it's also good that we accommodate it, we accept it, because it will also help in also making fair decisions. I've seen it out of these sports, American football, the NFL, they use it.
Almost, actually, football is now the
and
last
even the
football.
NBA,
Yeah.
they use it. Where if there is a foul or a technical that has been committed, the referee will go to the sideline together with his assistants, and they look at the footage and make the decision. And actually, in the NFL, the referee has a mic and announces to the entire stadium of the decision.
How about you, Webster? What do you think about VAR
Well,
ahead of Russia World Cup?
Well, the idea is, I remember there was a game, and my pundits can help me with. There was one game that until now I still remember, and not because of the officiating, because of the passion of the game. I think it was Portugal versus Holland. There were, I think, 10 yellow cards and about 4 red cards. I'll get my facts right, but it was in that nature, and most of them were through the decisions of the referee. Okay, so now we bring in another referee who's on top somewhere, looking from the camera's angle. He stops the game and says, "Okay, that is a red card, that is a yellow card, that is an offside." Negative about it, slows down the game, momentum stops. Positive about it, you get the right decisions. But in football, what has made this game authentic? What has made this game unforgettable? It is that human decision that we live for, that we stand up and say, "You know what, ref, you are wrong. You know what, ref, I have some few words I can't say on TV about you, but this is what I'm going to say about you." You understand? Next thing, you'll have fans throwing bottles at the terraces up there, thinking that the video referee is on the terraces up there, because we will miss that intensity of the football game.
Actually,
but decisions, no problem.
Yeah.
Decisions, it will give us the right decisions.
Yes.
But what about the life? What about the life of the game?
It will actually take a very long time for us to accept it, because in our daily life, every day you watch a match every day, it will take some time for us to accept that it has actually come and it's here. My prayer is, let the VAR be the last rule that they are going to bring into football.
Actually,
yeah, I
Bring
hope that,
a robot
Yeah.
to referee at this rate.
yeah, because at the rate which we are going, every time FIFA appoints a committee to look at the way the game is being revolutionized and all that. So the next time, the way you had Marco van Basten saying with this committee that we need now players to be sent into the sin bin,
Yes.
we need 2 quarters in the first half, we need a resting time. So I hope this is the last one, and it remains at that we get acclimatized to it and we leave it at that. But so far, I don't like it.
Let it
So
be a
far,
plan B.
he doesn't like it. How about the same is lined up this particular afternoon, and of course, no English Premier League action this particular weekend. But Man United, just from thrashing against a team that is relegation bound, that is Burnley.
That's being
will be
arrogant.
looking down against Tottenham Hotspur this particular afternoon. Of course, this particular evening, 7:15 p.m. East African time, and that is an FSM mouth-watering clash of the day, we can say so, and that is our feature game and prediction fixture. You can keep your predictions coming through our SMS number 22162, starting with the word touch. What do you think? Who's gonna emerge the victorious as far as that tie is concerned? But Joe, unfortunately, is not donning a Man United jersey for the fear that probably they might lose. And
No.
Joe,
I have every confidence in Manchester United, but I'd like to point out something, and I think this is something we talked in the studio before we started the airing. The FA Cup right now, who's it more important to? Is it Tottenham or Manchester United? Let's look at the track record. The last time Tottenham won this cup, okay, the Football Association Cup, is in 1991. 1981. Manchester United won it 2 seasons ago with Van Gaal. 2 days later, you were sacked. Last season, we won 2 other cups. Let's understand one thing, that for Tottenham, this is a team that has revolutionized the last 3 years. It has been called the high pressure team. It just pressurizes you. If you're in number 4, it pushes you to number 3. If you're in number 3, it pushes you to number 2. It will never overcome and say, "You know what, we've won something." They need this cup tonight. They need this semi-final to go to the final again at their home of Wembley to get the job done for Pochettino. If they do not go through to the final, it will be detrimental to this team.
but Man United, with its pedigree and reputation, of course, they look set to finish trophyless this season. Don't you think that it's high time they win FA, and that will be a good consolation for them?
Actually, it will be, because Mourinho is a serial winner. Mourinho believes in winning anything and anything he can come across. That's how he has forged a career as a manager. He gets his teams motivated at the right time to win silverware. He might not win the league, he'll win the FA Cup, he'll win the Carling Cup, he'll not win La Liga, he'll win the Copa del Rey. That's how Mourinho keeps his teams tuned in to that philosophy where great teams are assessed by the number of honors they win. Like he pointed out, Spurs have a talented team, and they have the ability to knock United out. But will they do it? I personally don't think they will, because one thing United must be hurting after losing to West Brom, which was frankly embarrassing. Because you don't beat Man City one weekend and then you lose to West Brom in another, and you hand the title to Man City in that kind of way. So Mourinho will want to get them tuned for this game so that they can at least get to a final and give themselves a chance. And Mourinho has been known to outfox teams tactically. These are the kind of games he thrives in. So don't be surprised if United sneak a 1-0, a 2-1 in extra time. But Spurs will push them all the way. So whoever who turns up today, defends well and takes their chances, will prevail.
Oh, sorry, Robert. Yeah. We're going into this game with some talking point being on, Anton Martial and Marcus Rashford, rumors, linking to their departure from Old Trafford due to lack of playing time. But Harry Kane is a man who's also been trolled by football followers globally. Some saying that the hat-trick by Mo Salah ought to have been given to him. You see,
he's claiming goals that are not even his.
Yeah. But of course, two players, both Harry Kane and probably Romelu Lukaku, will be now the main determining factors as far as the outcome of this fixture is concerned. Going into this tie, do you think the individual brilliance will be key?
It will be a very huge factor, because you look at a team like Tottenham, which for many years it was more individual talent, but Pochettino has managed to make it a team. Now Tottenham plays like a full team, in that that in a game where there's Eriksen, Dele Alli, Dembele, Harry Kane, so these guys are going to score and they're going to push you that hard. Now that individual brilliance moves away from Tottenham to Manchester United. You realize that there's a bit of dressing room speculation that Pogba is not talking to the manager. He comes in and plays a very good second half against Manchester City, and then the next weekend they are playing West Brom. He plays really badly, wakes up the next morning and plays very man of the match performance against Bournemouth. So that's a player who they are saying today it's more of a Beckham and Ferguson era, where the egos in the dressing room is who wants to be heard more. And you'll say that people are saying that Pogba is now behaving like a child. Now, individually is good, but it does not want to work as a team. The other players like Anthony Martial is a fantastic player, but now is not being given that amount of time that he wants. That's why he's saying that if I can move away from Old Trafford and go to another team, I'll get that amount of time for me to play, because at 22, 23, is a good player. But at the United setup at the moment, they cannot accord him that time. That's why for him it's understandable to move. For Pogba, it's all about, he's just a big child who is 24 years old, who is not playing good football.
You should tweet that, right? Tweet that.
How about this issue of Alexis Sanchez, his kind of play not meant for Man United? A lot of interpretations and a myriad of versions with regards to his move from Arsenal to Man United. Some thinking that probably will flop at the Old Trafford. Joe, from where
obviously
you sit,
he has not performed to the level he performed at Arsenal. That one is there, you can see it. But also, you look at a Mourinho side that he has not really found his real good engine to go with, in that the other players can supplement that. But for me, Webster can talk to that. He's a good player, yes, but Mourinho has not given him one place to play. He starts him on the right, brings him to number 10, sometimes pushes him to the left side. So it is tricky for us to say he has just started playing. But the only game he has played so far, and you can say he played a good game, was against Man City. Past that, he has not really come out
Delivered.
as a United player, delivered as a United player.
And Arsenal football followers will probably rejoice.
Not really, because we can't blame. Actually, Alex is ending up at Man United. We can't blame him. It's the club hierarchy and the man who is leaving. He was responsible for that because he did not show that ambition to surround him with players who want to win. Because as it is widely reported, Alexis snapped after Arsenal lost 10-2 to Bayern Munich over 2 legs. That's when he asked himself, why am I here? But at United, he's used to having a number 10 who he can really involve in the play. He had Ozil, where he would give the ball and Ozil would give the ball back to him, and Alexis would give Ozil back the ball, those triangular passes and those dinks over the defenders. That is what now brought Alexis to the fore. If United want to get the best out of Alexis, they need to get a good number 10. Someone like Nabil Fekir. Someone who can play behind Lukaku and have those interplays with Alexis. Because Alexis thrives on movement, not hugging the touchline.
Joe, it is some sort of midweek action as far as Champions League football is concerned. Same is Bayern Munich locking horns against Real Madrid. Pulsating clash of the week, we can say so. And, predictions of various pundits went anywhere. Most of them actually, who thought that, Liverpool, of course Liverpool did, they were correct, but Barcelona tipping them for advancement to the semis, also others tipping a team that was eliminated by Madrid, Juventus, but they got it wrong. This time round, Bayern against Madrid. What do you think? And did you see that draw happening?
It's going to be a cagey game. It's going to be a game of wit. It's going to be a game of tactical awareness from Zidane and his counterpart. Because you're in the semi-finals, you're the two big teams. No disrespect to the rest of the two teams. You're the two big teams right now in the competition.
Yes.
And each one of you wants to get to the final. It's how you play the first leg. It's how you play. For me, I always say the first half of every 2 legs is won by how you play it, the first leg itself. Okay, so if you look at Real Madrid, the way they'll assemble themselves for this game, they'll go for an attacking. They will show Bayern Munich that we are not afraid of you. We are not. We have won this competition twice already. We want to go for the 3rd time. We're not afraid of you. But for me, the most exciting part about next week's fixtures, and I'm sorry to finish about the Bayern Munich Real Madrid game, is Liverpool AS Roma. It's going to be a beautiful game.
But some are saying
It's
that
going to
it's
be a
already a
beautiful-
done deal for Liverpool.
No way.
Not by a long
Thank
shot.
you. Please tell them it is going to be a beautiful game.
Because you see, Roma, if they were able to overturn it against Barcelona,
Yes.
it means that they defended
the same.
very well, they defended diligently, and they took their chances with ruthless efficiency. Liverpool are not
Ruthless
known,
efficiency.
actually they are not known to defend well. That's the problem with Liverpool. But now their attack now can finish you, it's razor sharp. And they defend by pressing high up the pitch. You see now, AS Roma have they have a good spine. They have Costas Manolas marshalling their back line, and they have Daniele De Rossi
Yes.
marshalling their midfield.
Aging
Is
though.
their- But trust me, when he goes in for a tackle, you'll not know that he's 34 years old. He holds that midfield together with the Belgium 9-goal Rico. So Liverpool will have to do
And
what
the
they did to
attacking
City.
department is sparkling as well, led by Edin Dzeko.
Edin Dzeko. So Liverpool need to take their chances and take them very early, like they used to do. Like they have done in the competition, they need to take their chances. As for Madrid and Bayern, That will be a cagey game. Madrid got the better of Bayern after Arturo Vidal got sent off, because I do believe had Arturo stayed on the pitch, they would have pushed them maybe to penalties or to extra time, because Bayern had the advantage. This time Vidal is not available, so Bayern have a chance to maybe have a few aces up their sleeves, because Madrid will not know which Bayern will turn up in midfield. But like he said, to win the Champions League or the Europa League, you need to get the job done in the first leg. That's why even my Arsenal fail, because they are usually out of it by the second leg. So for Madrid and Bayern, the same case applies. Whoever who gets the job done in the first leg, especially whoever who starts away from home, has a good chance.
You are a diehard supporter of Cristiano Ronaldo, and his record against Bayern Munich speaks for itself. He scored phenomenally several goals, 9 goals in 6 appearances against Bayern Munich. Will you continue with the same track record?
With Cristiano Ronaldo, you never know. He's the highest scoring player at the Champions League at the moment, because he scores goals. And Bayern is a team that does not defend. It goes out there and plays its football. Now, for a team that goes there and plays its football, it gives Cristiano Ronaldo a chance to score goals. Because at the box, you lose concentration in 30 seconds and Cristiano will score a beautiful goal. And that's how you lose it. For Bayern Munich, that's what they love to do. James Rodriguez, who is on loan from Real Madrid to Bayern Munich himself, said, Real Madrid, when it comes to cup competitions and more so the Premier League, the Champions League, they shift to another gear, which is past when they play the La Liga. And at the moment, that is the trophy Zinedine is seeing on his site, because the La Liga is gone, the Copa is gone, and he's going to put out his best against Bayern. The good thing for Bayern so far is they have got a coach who won it with Madrid and won it with Bayern Munich and knows Madrid in and out. So for me, it's a game which I have no prediction. I just know let the best man win.
But now Liverpool against Roma, how comes you're not saying it's not for Liverpool yet?
For Liverpool, even Liverpool is also another cup competition team. From what you saw, what they did to Man City in the quarterfinals, it's an open game between both of them. AS Roma came back from 4-1 to win a 3-0 and qualify for the semis. Liverpool beat Man City outright to qualify for the semis. So it's another game which I cannot say 1-0, 2-0, no. We'll just wait for the result to talk by itself.
Predictions, but before that, disclaimer. Predictions on this particular platform don't necessarily reflect our position. So if you place a bet
Very true.
and it happens to be and doesn't materialize, don't find much blame on us. Bayern Munich against Madrid, Liverpool against Roma, who are you pitting to advance to the finale?
Roma, Liverpool. I see a Liverpool Bayern Munich final.
A Liverpool Bayern Munich final.
Yes, and now from there I don't think I can pick the winner, because it would be a very romantic story if Jurgen Klopp was able to win it and beat you Heinkes this time. That's the only
after failing to outshine him in Bundesliga.
Because Klopp has always wanted to conquer Europe. Jupp Heynckes has been known to build ruthlessly efficient teams, especially in the Champions League. That's why you should not count out Bayern.
Yes.
Trust me, as an Arsenal fan, I've faced the wrath of Jupp Heynckes' team. And what they do is they set up nice and tight and they take their chances.
Joe?
Well, for the final, I'm going with Liverpool, Bayern Munich again. I agree with him. But for the winner, and I'm saying it now on TV, Liverpool are taking the Champions League. This is my prediction. Liverpool.
Bayern Munich, Roma, and hopefully Roma takes it. My prediction. Also, Robert, your final.
Okay, I've got my final. Bayern, Real Madrid. Madrid is going to win. Goals over 2.5.
For the semis?
For the semis. Real Madrid is going to win. And then Liverpool, AC Roma, I'm going with Liverpool. 2.5 also.
Let's do this again sometime, same place. Next Saturday, we shall be on 1 to 3, the touchline on Y254. Maxwell Wasika is my name, alongside Robert Osoro. Epic show you don't want to miss. But tomorrow, Gor Mahia 16-time KPL champions locking horns against a team that denied them victory in 2013, Thika United. That game will be televised live and exclusive on this particular platform, Y254. Don't go away. Thanks for our crew who made this happen, led by Fadhili Athmani, Brian Kimani, Faith, Christine, and the rest. Always a pleasure doing this every Saturday, 1 to 3. Salute. Bless.
Bye-bye.